Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's video, we'll be giving you guys a detailed explanation and a detailed outlook on what I'm looking out for on the crypto market. But before I kick off, I would like to review some of the outlook I gave previously on the other video. I called out what I'm expecting on the dollar. So let's take a little bit of review on that. So you all know that I'm targeting this low on the dollar. Overall outlook on the dollar, I'm bearish towards this low. So we already have some points of engagement. So we are looking at some fulfillments towards that level. Right. So previously on dollar we had an expansion. So currently we are ranging. So we are looking for the manipulation phase before we can start looking for this low to be met, which I'm expecting the high of the year on the dollar. So we cannot expect the high of the year on the dollar until this particular high. So we are currently on Q3, which is quite crazy because the question is, are we expecting the high towards this low within this year? Sorry, within this year, or we are going to be waiting for some little bit of maybe next year, maybe this year start this high, this particular level, then we can start expecting maybe next year, Q1 of next year to give us a high, then we can start expanding. For me, my main objective is just to catch the high of the year. Then whatever that might happen, maybe next year coming back for proper absorption and so on. Maybe I might maybe considering next as I might start considering next year to give me the high before this particular look. Meanwhile, we are currently in the midpoint of the year plus I think this is August, so the year is no longer. I think we are currently having some delayed production, so maybe next year for proper absorptions before we start looking for lower prices on the dollar. So currently, I cannot be bearish on the dollar until this particular month really, right? Well, currently we are having some bullish program in play, right? So this is the engagement point. So we are currently targeting the monthly FEG on the dollar, right? So I cannot be bearish for now, although some higher time frame levels have been met currently, but I can't really be bearish on the dollar until I see some orders being paid to each other before I start assuming that okay that I'm already bearish. But for now I'm still bullish on the dollar. So I called July price action, right? Which did not really play out the way I wanted. It was kind of, although it played out to some extent, which we had a classic, it's not really classic, but we had July meeting some fulfillment levels, then Q4 starts expanding lower. There is this saying that that you can anticipate the high or low of a range until Q4. So this particular candle is Q4, which is with 4 of July. So this is a distortion week. This is week 1, week 2, week 3. So as soon as we miss this particular candle's high, which is the decision week high, week 4 reverse, because week 4 can either as week 4, which is equivalent to Q4, can either continue or reverse. So this is actually normal. So it's reversed slash being an expansion. So as you can see, this week is a range because after an expansion, we have a range. That's normal, right? So after you are seeing massive expansion in the market, yeah, this is always ideal to sit on your hands and anticipate the next and just anticipate the next quarter open, right? So week 4 was an expansion, week 1, especially when it's week 1. So this is a range for me, right? So we had some fulfillment levels from this particular FVG. So but the FVG that this particular FVG was not really having enough liquidity within it. So this is actually a normal thing that happened here, right? So but we made some points on fulfillment levels. So before actually expanding lower like this is actually normal, right? With what I just explained initially. So what I'm expecting on the dollar right now is I'm expecting something like this low maybe. So I'm anticipating to catch the high of probably anticipate the low of the month, which is the low of August. So we are currently having some range. If we to start this low, I might not really be anticipating the week two low of the month. So I'm looking for something maybe within week three, right? If I want to see week two start this low, react, come back within week three, then we can look for XMT to confirm the border expansion. So we have to expand towards the monthly FVG. The monthly FVG is the drawn liquidity for me on the dollar. So we are currently bullish. So going to the daily. Right, this is the daily. So this is no longer important for now. Right, it's no longer important. So we're marking out the first day of August, which is that's 3rd August, Monday, right? So this is where I encode my vertical line. So from the 1st of August, I want to be checking my liquidity pools and the institutional reference points. Right, from this particular point, I'll be casting back 20 days data range. Right, so this is 20 days data range. I'm casting back 40 days data range. 40 days data range. So the previous shift happened within 40 days, right? This is the previous shift. This is the most recent shift, right? This high was the most recent shift towards the downside. So in that context, I'll be casting for 20 days data range to complete the 60 days, right? So 40 to make it 60 days, right? So I want to see some smart money reversal happen within this next 20 days data range. As you can see, this is the month of August, right? That is exactly first of exactly 31st to 1st of September. So I'm expecting the next quarterly shift to be like within the first 20 days, the next 20 days that is incoming currently, right? So this is an important liquidity pool. This is the previous 40 days low. This is the most recent low, right? It's not the most recent low, but this is a liquidity pool that this is an important liquidity pool because this is 40 days high, as you can see, 40 days high, 40 days low. So if we total this low, this is gonna be an important liquidity pool for me. This is an institutional reference point for me. So if we miss this low with time, if this low is met within week three, within this particular 20 days, it is a very significant signal for higher prices, right? So, and even marking out the open of July as the quarterly open, this is going to be an absorption level for me, a total absorption level for me. If week two or week three should give me the low, right? So I'm looking at something like this, and I'm not really expecting Euro USD to stab this particular low. So I'm looking for something like this, a little bit of macro SMT, right? So I want to see something like this on the dollar. Higher prices on the dollar if we get a smart money reversal plus SMT right here, right? So let's see how it goes. So week two open from Monday. I'm not really gonna be expecting something. I want to see a range. I want to see a range within week two. Maybe it was the low of the week, probably on Wednesday we will react, then come back for week three for proper absorption below this low. Then we can start looking for higher prices on the dollar. So that's my outlook on the dollar for just to review what happened within last month, and we had it played out pretty well, right? Because this sale was fulfilled, not really fulfilled because I was looking at this particular daily every day as my target. So, but in context of time, the weekly FEG sponsored price with time, that is week two Wednesday low of the month we met the monthly objective, which is this particular distortion week high. Then within week four, we reversed, which is absolutely normal. So we reversed because of the bigger the range, the deeper the protraction. Because of the quarterly range has intention to giving us a more deeper protraction phase before the expansion. So this is actually normal, right? Because we just opened up for a new quarter within July. So July has the right to, it's normal to give us a deeper protraction for the low of the quarter before the expansion phase. Absolutely normal, right? So going to Euro USD vice versa with what we have on the dollar. So this is what I'm expecting on Euro USD. I'm expecting in the same context this, right? So I'm not really expecting this high to be met on Euro USD. Right, so I want to see some maybe high of the week two, high of the week two, or maybe week two can just give us the high of the month, the high of the month on this guy. This can just give us the high of the month, then we can come back probably. Let me say, okay, if week two is to give us the high of the month because of this particular distance and duration and one week, what I'm expecting, maybe we can have some SMT within week two and week three, where week two give us the high of the month on Euro USD and week three give us the low of the month on the XY. That's going to be the best scenario that we're going to be looking at. So marking out from 1st August, so which is 3rd August, the first day of August, casting backwards, that is almost equivalent to what we are looking at. So this low is an important liquidity pool. This is what 20 days low, right? And overall we have been bearish for a while. So, but overall, what we are looking at is Euro USD being bullish, but I think this exact low right here, for proper absorption for the low of the year. So let's see what's going to happen the month of August. I'm expecting a high to form, then we can expand. So institutional reference points, previous 20 days, the first 20 days backward. This also is also an institutional reference point for me. This particular SVG as a drawn liquidity. So this is what we are expecting, right? So I'm expecting something like this. It's not really something that is more difficult, like maybe price lower prices. So there's not much time. This is GPUSD, same thing that I'm expecting. Maybe GPUSD might come for this high before we target this low. It has to be this high for proper order period before we start looking for other prices, right? So with no time, let's hop into the main thing that we came, which is the crypto outlook, right? So let's go to the monthly charts. Monthly charts. This is my so we have been bearish on BTC for a while, right? We had some points of engagements on BTC right here. Points of engagement. So we are yet to meet the fulfillment level, which is this particular low for 8,000. So and we have been having some bearish model in play, right? So BTC is a very clear enough because when we made this low, when I called this particular high of previous order from May, right? When we made this low, I said that clearly, maybe in my Telegram channel or even on my X, right? I said that clearly that we are expecting some last stage distribution phase before the drawn liquidity, which some people we are still holding their trades even within this particular guide. So, but I knew that price have to range because after an expansion that meets a target, we have to range. Either we are continuing or we are reversing. But on this context, we are just continuing, right? So this particular month is a range for me. So marking out previous month's high as my institutional reference points, right? Institutional reference points, and also marking out this particular first that's previous quarter's opening price, which is this particular candle's opening price. I think the opening price of April, right? So previous month's high as my institutional reference point for order pairing, right? We ranged out within July. So we're expecting this particular month to manipulate August high, and then we can start looking for lower prices. And for the low of and for the low towards all time high, it might not really come this. It might not come this year. It might come maybe to 227, because 228 will be a classic bull run. That's me saying this, right? I have reasons why I'm saying this. So going to the weekly, so we have it's being clear right here. So the weekly, this is an institutional reference point for me. So we don't really need this, although we are having some bullish model within here, right? From first of July, we had some we had some point of engagement towards this high, but that's not really important. The main idea here is that we are trying to catch the high towards 48K, right? So I'm gonna be marking out this particular guy. Why? Marking out this particular low. These are important liquidity pools. Why are they important liquidity pools? But before now, let's go to the daily time frame. Right. So this, if you mark out the 1st of August, this Saturday, the first day of August. So this guy is an important liquidity pool. This guy is also an important liquidity. So I do nothing until these liquidity pools are taken. So I'm calling my vertical line in the 1st of August, and I'm gonna be checking my 20 days data range backward, casting backward. Right, this is a 20-day data range, right? 40 days data range, right? 40 data range and 60 days data range, which is within this candle. So, but this is the most significant high within the 60 days data range. This is the lowest low of that. This is the lowest point of the previous 40 days data range, and this is the highest high of the previous 40 days data range, right? So this also is also an important liquidity pool. We are going to be doing nothing until this high is taken. This high is taken. So from the open of August, I'm looking for the high of all that. From the open of August, I'm looking for a high to form within week 3 or week 2. Then we can start looking for lower prices on Bitcoin. Meanwhile, when the major liquidities have been taken, right? So casting forward, I want to see my smart money advisor happen within the next 20 days. So right, so SMT is also crucial. Although based on strength, this high to be met on ETH. So this is ETH high, ETH. So which is strictly unlikely for me on BTC, right? So let's remove this guy, remove this vertical line. Remove this vertical line, remove the 60-day data range. The most important thing is that we already checked what's the institutional reference point within the previous 60 days data range, so which are these important liquidity pools right here. So we already checked some relative trends. So as you can see, let me go to ETH so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is ETH, right? You see that this high is equivalent to that high I highlighted on BTC. So I'm expecting ETH to come for this high for a macro SMT, right? Why BTC? I'm not really expecting this high to be made. So within this institutional reference point, which is this particular FVG, this daily FVG, I want it to support price to the downside. So we are going to be looking out for SMT within the next 20 days data range, right? Next 20 days data range, which is within week 1 BTC to week 3. That's what I'm expecting this high to be formed. So it's not really something that is difficult. BTC is actually straightforward. So we are going to be doing nothing until this high is met. Although I already have a model in play, I'm currently bullish on BTC because there is saying that the production phase of a range is also a trade opportunity, right? The, so I'm having some points of engagement right here. So going to BTC, going to the 4 hours time frame, I mean. So we are having some bullish model in play, buy program in play, right? So from the 1st of August, we have our smart money WhatsApp plus SMT for a macro SMT. So we also have this particular low resistance liquidity pool, supplementary on liquidity, low resistance liquidity pool, low. This is a low resistance liquidity pool. This high, this high. So this is a clean target for me. So I want to anticipate the low of week two from Monday from this particular guy. So I want to see Monday give me the low of the week right here. Then we can start to give higher prices to anticipate the overall production phase towards the target. So that's what I have for you guys on BTC. Sorry for the I delayed on the video because I was actually very busy throughout from the middle of last month to date, right? But I thank God I'm currently back on the chat, and uh, and I will continue to give you guys more updates if there is any important information that I want to pass out. So thank you guys for the subscriptions and the support, the likes and the comments. I really appreciate it, and I promise that I will always be show up to give you guys premium education, premium outlook, and other stuff. So thank you guys for actually giving me the support. So see you guys. Maybe I will try and produce a very clean outlook. So thank you guys for being with me. I love you. So thank you guys for actually supporting me. So see you guys in the next one.